So what are the top types of creatives you should be testing in your Facebook ads account? That's exactly what I'm going to be covering today, so stay tuned. What's up everybody, Alvaro here from Alvaro Barrios Digital, and today I am talking about the best creatives that you need to start ASAP using inside of your ad account in order to see better results. So there are so many different types of creative options. I'm not going to cover all of them in this video today. I'm just simply going to cover the best ones that you need to simply start utilizing in your account. Now, I wanted to do this video because I do see people fall into the trap of just using the same type of creative over and over and over again, whether that's just images, just videos, or something along those lines. So I'm going to introduce to you, there's a lot more to it, even within the realms of images and videos. So let's go ahead and start breaking it down. All right, so first up, we have image ads. So obviously this is the most common type of ad that you see. It's also the easiest and quickest to set up. But people kind of keep it a little bit too simple here, right? They're either always uploading just graphics or just organic images, and they're not doing enough testing right there. I have some clients where just a plain image with no text overlays is what works best for their target audience. Sometimes for other clients though, graphics work best with a lot of text overlays and it looks very much like an ad. Or sometimes more lifestyle image ads where you're kind of portraying your product in a real life scenario. That way they can kind of feel what it's like to experience that. So there's so many different ways you can get creative with images, but most people are just kind of just repeating the same thing over and over again. So the best thing that I can recommend for you is to mix and match the types of images that you are putting in there. Throw in an organic plain image, throw in a graphic, throw in a lifestyle image that is doing some sort of comparison and contrast, or kind of visualizing what it's like to utilize the product or service that you are offering, and throw that into your campaign and just see what works best. The algorithm will optimize in terms of what your audience will respond to the most. So let the algorithm do the testing for you. All right, next up we have video ads. So this is the second most common type of creative that you can use inside of Facebook, or that you see inside of Facebook and Instagram. But a lot of people are very hesitant because they are either saying that they're not very good on video, or they don't know what to say on video, or they're afraid of their editing options. Whatever it might be, there's a lot of things that hold people back from doing video. But this is one of the reasons why you should be doing video, because a lot of people are making these excuses in their heads and they're only sticking to image ads. So that's an opportunity for you to come out with something that's different compared to your competitors, show your audience something that feels fresh and unique, and hopefully that way they are more likely to convert. Now, the biggest question I always get asked when it comes to video ads is how long should the video be? And the answer is, it depends. As always, you just need to test. As a general guideline though, I wouldn't do anything shorter than 15 seconds, and at least to start off, I wouldn't do anything longer than 2 minutes. I've had great success with videos that are longer than 2 minutes. However, it does take a lot of studying and practice to be able to get a 3, 4, or 5 minute video to really work for you. So especially when you're first starting off, keep it simple, increase the odds of your success by keeping it at a maximum of 2 minutes. And then once you actually hit that mark of 2 minutes and you have a successful video, see what you can do with a 3-minute video or 4-minute video, and so on and so forth. Obviously, the longer the video is, the more value and content you can provide, but also the more difficult it is to keep people's attention. So those are the two things that you need to be balancing out. The other thing with video that most people forget is that you can do a lot of things with video, right? Meaning most people think it's just like, oh, I'm gonna just hold up my phone and talk into it, which yes, you certainly can do, but there's a lot of different styles of videos, right? You can do that style of video. You can just be recording on your computer, just like I am right here, right now. You can do a Reels style video that you then turn into an ad, or you can do some sort of demonstration video where you're walking through people, almost educating them in terms of your product or service, and they have a very great idea of what to expect when they make it over to your landing page or your sales page. So test different lengths, test different styles. You could even do just a video with B-roll and voiceover, right? You don't necessarily have to be on camera yourself if you're not comfortable being on camera. Lots and lots of things to do. And then when it comes to editing, you can even use a tool like Canva. It makes editing for dummies like me, by the way, a super simple process. So don't let anything of the technical aspects delay you from testing out video for your campaigns. All right, next we have carousel ads. I love carousel ads, right? This is by far one of the most, if not the most underutilized creative ad type out there. If you're not familiar with a carousel ad, what it allows you to do, it allows you to upload either multiple images or videos or both, and people can then watch them or scroll through them in a specific sequence. Most people, they just forget that this is an option, or maybe they don't realize this is an option, but I love this one and I really use it for the vast majority of my clients because very few people utilize carousel ads, and so it gives people a really fun and different way to consume ads that's different from just regular images or just regular videos. Now, if you are going to use carousel, what I recommend for most businesses, unless you're e-commerce, is to deselect all of the default settings that Facebook chooses for you. Because if you keep them on, what it's going to do, it's going to put the image or video that is most clicked on first, and it's going to just automatically reorganize and shuffle the images or videos in the way that it sees fit. But for most businesses, again, unless you're e-commerce, if you're marketing just a bunch of different products at the same time, that default setting is fine. But for everyone else who isn't e-commerce, right, you want your carousels to be in a very specific sequence. That way it's one unifying story going from very beginning to the very end, and you're not giving the algorithm the ability to mix and match the order of your images or your videos. And that is the other point that I want to make, is that make sure you are doing some sort of specific story or sequence from beginning to end. If you're just throwing a bunch of random images and videos that don't really align with one another just because you want a carousel ad, you're probably not going to find success in that way. So make sure that it's a sequential story, just like reading a book. So as people kind of scroll through it, they get that same type of consumption as if they were reading a book. Now, the other thing that you want to keep in mind with carousel ads is that you can choose how many images or videos you include. You can either have as little as 2 images or videos or a maximum of 10. You know, in terms of what's optimal, it really depends. I tend to lean more towards the longer side because I just find myself having to say more things inside my carousel ads. So usually I'm always have at least 8, 9, or 10, but you can certainly test something shorter. You're not obligated to have more than 5 or 6 or something like that. You can have as little as 2, 3, or 4. So make sure you test it out and see what is best for your audience. And then also test images versus videos, and also just even images versus text. I actually run a bunch of text carousels. That way it's almost like a secondary version of copy. So there's the body copy and there's the copy in the carousel images as they scroll by. It just gives people another way to consume your message, and maybe they prefer to consume it that way. So definitely give these a try. I love carousel ads and they're highly underutilized. All right, and lastly, we have story ads. So these are ads that appear in the Instagram stories and Facebook stories placements. They also look well or appear really well in the Reels placement. So while an Instagram story ad is not specific for the Reels placement, you can use the same video or image for both. It's gonna look fine in the Reels placement. I don't find it super necessary to create a completely separate type of creative for the Reels placement. So when I say stories, I'm also throwing in Reels in there. But regardless, this is something that is meant to be in that full screen vertical aspect ratio that looks really clean and sharp. When you're using a newsfeed ad and that newsfeed ad is then put in the stories placement, it just doesn't look very good, right? They're only gonna see a small block of text, and it's just gonna kind of have a weird feel to it because it's not native to that placement. So oftentimes, if you are looking for new opportunities to get better results from some of the different placements, you will want to create a separate campaign that only targets stories. That way you can create a video or an ad that is specific to the stories placement. And you do want to mix and match videos and images when it comes to the stories placement. I know kind of by default, you would assume that videos always work best, but that's not the case. I have run plenty of image story ads that actually end up working better than videos for some of my clients. So as always, throw in some story video ads, throw in some image video ads, ads, and you just kind of let the algorithm figure out what your audience prefers, and it will start serving that up. Another cool feature about the story ads placement is that most people don't realize you can do a carousel story ad. So people kind of hear or learn about the stories ads placement, and they're like, wait, 15 seconds to show your ad? That's not nearly enough time to be able to get my message across. Well, good news is that you can have a stories carousel ad. So you can have 2 or a maximum of 3 back-to-back images or videos. So you cannot do like a newsfeed placement carousel, which has up to 10. When it comes to the stories placement, it's a maximum of 3. But let's just say you're doing video. That means you can have 3 consecutive or up to 3 consecutive 15-second clips, giving you a total of 45 seconds to get your message across. That's plenty of time to be able to fully convey your message, your value, and all that good stuff that your audience needs to hear. So it's a very good placement. And because of the fact that fewer advertisers are creating images and videos that are specific to the stories placement, it's actually a less competitive space. So oftentimes your CPM or your cost per 1,000 impressions, it's going to be cheaper when you're running a campaign to the stories placement because there's just less competitors going to that spot right there. And therefore that means you can potentially, not always, but potentially get cheaper leads and cheaper purchases that way. All right, so there you have it. That's the breakdown of the top creatives you need to start testing inside of your ad account today. This is a very easy way to just see if you can grow your business. So many people are just stuck in just using regular images all the time, and they're not getting creative with their images, or they're not expanding to videos, carousels, and story ads. So make sure you start doing that to see what results you can get. As always, if you have any questions about this topic, just let me know in the comments below, and I am happy to answer them. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.